Today we're on to welcome Jihane Laraichi to the show today. I'm very happy to have her on. She is an energy healer. She talks about so many different amazing topics within this realm, right? There's so many different tools that we can utilize, right? But ultimately, NLP, Reiki, all these things, they all come together to kind of optimize our energy. And I feel like so many of us in today's world, we're just not operating out of our full peak efficiency, right? Whatever it is we're talking about, whether it's health, wealth, relationships, we just want to help people, be of service. And it's very difficult to do if we're feeling down and low and all these different things. So being able to gain energetic intelligence in a sense and be able to work with these tools is very important. So very excited to have her on. How are you doing today?
Yeah, hi, thank you so much, Anthony, for hosting me. And I am very thrilled to be supporting people with lots of information regarding cancer support energetically.
Awesome. Yeah.
So,
Very happy to have you. So I'm very curious to hear your story and how you got into energy healing and how you're being a source today.
it's amazing how life is bringing us towards, where we should belong, because sometimes we think that we belong somewhere, and then finally we end up, going towards where we really are the most of service. So I was a financial analyst, and every day I was thinking, this is not my life. And then I began having some energy stuff, beginning with my hands gifts with healing other people, and then I began supporting others with healing. And then I began learning about energy healing with different modalities, and each time with lots of synchronicities that were happening and that were showing me the way, so that I would be of support to myself and in support to others. And then I began having some friends who were having cancer. And then I began supporting them with energy healing, showing them the way regarding some situations that they were facing. And I began noticing that they were absorbing some negativity from the people around them, and that it was totally affecting them energetically and emotionally. And then I began not only supporting them with energy healings with my hands, but with advice on how they could be of support to themselves in their own healing by taking care of their own energy. And then I began researching a lot regarding cancer, how it can be supported. And unfortunately, I had a cousin that died of cancer. So it impacted me so much that I got into researching, yes, we can die of cancer, and we can choose to die with peace with cancer, and to be in peace with death, in peace with the process of dying. And it brought me to another level of acceptance of life and showing people, how they can be living truly with cancer, living in the day to day, not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow, which is fine, and accepting death as a future, as all of us are going to be dying ultimately, but accepting that they need to be living in the day to day. So I began creating lots of, tools regarding that, and I began being of support of people with cancer, and then of support with people that have overcome cancer, that are cancer survivors, in order for them to be staying in good health emotionally, mentally, and physically. And that's the most important.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, sounds like a big part of it is being able to take care of our energy, right? Because a lot of us, we don't necessarily know how for various reasons. It could be a number of reasons, honestly, but there's a lot of tools and techniques that kind of go into that, right? Just being able to go through life's challenges in a more graceful way, be able to optimize through that is of the utmost importance.
Yeah, that's very important to know all of those techniques, because no one shows that to us. Like, the person has the cancer, and then she begins trying to find a solution, and she doesn't know where to go first, what to do, what not to do, because there are a lot of people there that don't know what they're doing, so they kind of can create lots of damage in the person. So it's very important to be having these talks, to be knowing what are the different tools that can be of support to the to people so that they can be healed and they can be at least improving their health in the process. So I have learned lots of techniques and have been sharing them with people and doing them with people, which brought them lots of relief, which is a very cool thing. And I can share with you many techniques that you can learn to do with people. But mostly, what I do is that I do share sometimes some techniques with people so that they can do them on themselves. So that's the most important stuff to know.
Awesome.
So maybe sharing, the first techniques, which would be, Reiki, which is inner healing to oneself, like the person directs positive energy towards the different places of the body so that the person can be feeling relief. And going into a visualization where you visualize yourself as healed is an amazing process to be included in this, because we are all multidimensional beings, and our present self as our past self as our future healed self are coexisting. So doing Reiki by envisioning a light that clears the disease and that allows your body to be moving forward with health, and by projecting yourself by being the future self, is a part of the healing. Because most of the people with cancer, and Anthony may be, just like related to that, we all have negative thoughts all day that are popping up. So the cancer person needs to be beginning to focus on herself and on her healing and having positive thoughts of healing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because, as you mentioned, these things can add up throughout the day. Right? We have these constant negative thought patterns and ways of being. It can definitely cause some health issues over time if we don't know how to handle it. So just being able to be aware of that is really key.
That's very important, yes, because lots of cancer issues are coming from emotional trauma that are happening along the way, and then the person is having like a negativity that enters into some organs of the body, and then it can be creating like auto disease. So it is kind of an autoimmune stuff because you are co-creating it to yourself. You are punishing it unconsciously yourself by having that disease turned towards you, because cancer is also related to lots of anger. So instead of directing it to outside and getting rid of it, I am directing it to myself, and the cracks are beginning to come till one day it happens in the inside that the body begins showing the low frequency and vibration of the disease. So that's very important to know that self-care emotionally is very key, and not taking life seriously is a key too. Not identifying with whatever issues that we are facing day to day, and beginning to shift our view on the perspective of the events that are happening to us, so that we could make some emotional distance with it. And that's very key for people who are having cancer. That's the first thing that happens to cancer people. The person that has cancer, it's a way that the body shows you that you need to be beginning to taking care of yourself, to begin loving yourself, putting yourself first, beginning not to care for whatever the person A, B, C, D is thinking about you or about the events of your life or whatever, and beginning you to be your key priority. And that's what people tend to forget about.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So we just tend to neglect these things, and like self care, all these things. It like we're just a lot of external focus in today's world, right? And I feel like you have to take care of yourself in a sense and become the greatest version of you that allows you to be a maximum service.
Service to yourself by being alive, and that's the most important stuff. And I'm gonna just share some tools that maybe can be of service, and I would like just to share just like a few tips for people that are listening to us. The first one would be that if I am having a person around me in my family that died of cancer, like a friend, family member, may them be in peace first. Sometimes these people didn't go to the light. They stayed like with the people that are alive. They stayed near to them, and then they are just like merging with the energetic body of the alive person, and then it can create a vulnerability of that person by being in a grief that isn't processed, to be picking that cancer energetically from the person that did die. So the first thing is to make sure that when we grieve another person that has cancer, to be working on our grief totally, so that we don't affect the person that died energetically, and that she allows herself to go to the light, because most of them, they stay there to support you energetically. We don't feel them sometimes, but they can come to you in dreams or whatever. But it is very important to let the people that died around you to go to the light, so that you are not affected by it. And to make sure maybe to go to some, I don't know, there are some mediums that communicate with people that died. I do that, for instance, for people, and to make sure that these people go to the light. That's the first thing to do. The second would be that to know that energetically we are fragile when there are people that have died of cancer in our family. So sometimes at the same age of my father that died of cancer, I can have like some vulnerability there. Maybe some event that's going to happen that is going to be shaking me up, is creating an energetic like wound, and that be creating that, instead of shouting at people, I'm going to just like create the disease to myself, and I'm going to just like having this unconscious loyalty towards this ancestor, and by having the cancer too, because I'm not going to be working on the emotional wound that the outer event is creating in me, and I'm gonna do things exactly as my diseased cancer ancestor, and I'm gonna repeat the same fate by having the cancer and having to be working on it. So this can be shifted, as if you know that there was an ancestor that did die around 50 or whatever age, and suddenly you're having an emotional issue, a shock, or whatever is happening, to notice that you can do things differently and let out the emotion, or express yourself differently and work on things differently, so that you can have a different fate than that person. I don't know if it resonates, but at least I transfer the message to you guys.
Yeah. So it sounds like how we hold things energetically can potentially impact other people.
Totally. We are all interconnected, and most of the people that have cancer, when you have cancer, you have lack of energy, like you have a lack of prana. We have energy bodies that are interconnected, and these energies are really, just like fragile. We lack energy. We have just little of our energy body is smaller. So it is thinner. And what happens is that most of the cancer people, cancer patients, are absorbing negativity from others. So sometimes they can be fragile, and they are going to be picking energy from others in order for them to be feeling better. Like it's a way unconsciously to have the energetic layer being reinforced. But as they pick the positive, they pick the negative of people, like the anger. And you're going to ask them, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm feeling sad. But if I ask you, you are feeling sad, is it your sadness, or is it someone else's sadness? You're going to tell me, yeah, it's not totally mine. I think that I have picked the sadness from the person that I was listening to, because I was identifying to the person, because the person transformed herself into an empath that absorbs negativity from people, but can't let it out from her own energy. And that's why people can avoid a person because she has absorbed so much negativity that it can repel the people around. So that's why it is very important to notice that you can protect your own energy. You can take energy from the earth by grounding yourself, by going to nature, by recharging yourself, and you can guess when you are picking energy from others and stopping that interaction, and you can recharge yourself and be positive in your own energy so that people are staying next to you and you are giving and taking positive energy around you.
Got it. That makes sense. I mean, something else to talk about is like being born in certain circumstances and how that can potentially affect your life. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yes. So, when, for instance, we have been saved when we were in our mother's womb by the obstetrician, like we were put in a circumstances where we were having like a cord around the neck, or we were like having been a breach. So we were saved by our doctor because it was a matter of life or death. So we can recreate that during our life with the cancer situation because we all the time again need to be saved by others, and we our life is be put on others' hands and other circumstances. So sometimes the cancer period of healing can be just the repetition of the different patterns that you were experiencing when you were in your mother's wombs and when you were about to be born. And that's why it is very important to ask your mother or parents, if they are still alive, about those circumstances. Because, good news, if you get to know that, you get to cut that situation that is repeating with the cancer emotions, etc., that are exactly the same that you were having in your mother's womb when you were about to be born. And you get to be having and choosing another timeline, positive timeline, where you don't have to be living for survival, struggling for survival, because that's the learning that you have come as a soul to experience through the cancer. All of the emotional layers of trust in life, trust in your own energy, trust in your own future, and working towards having positive intent towards yourself of I take care of myself, I love myself, and I take care of my future, and I believe that I am going to be thriving again.
Got it. So basically, it sounds like there's certain lessons to learn within that.
There are lots of lessons regarding cancer. People that have cancer, when they go out of it, say that it was the most important lesson that they got to learn, that it was the best blessing in disguise that they got. Even if it was difficult, it was something that showed them that they needed to take care of themselves. It allowed them to distinguish the people that were good to them, that were caring of them, the people that exploited them, and the people that didn't care about them. So it's just like a cleansing in the environment that they got to be learning, and they got to learn to shift perspectives on things. The personality of the person after cancer and during cancer is not anymore the same personality that the person has before cancer. And that's why it is very important to be keeping those same behaviors towards self love after cancer. Because when we kind of go back to the negative habits of before, only be codependent, thinking about, oh my God, I need to take care of all others. I need just to be focused on others people. I need to be doing this for them, but I don't do it for myself. Then sometimes, it's like the relapse because you didn't get what the cells of your body were indicating to you. Because at the end of the day, it's our cells that are talking to us. And we have learned just to be doing maths, to be doing physics, and to be focusing more on the outside. That's how the school system works. And no one has taken the time to be sharing with us how we can focus on our body and listen to our body and listen to our intuition. And sometimes people need to learn how to take care of their intuition and to listen to it, because when your intuition is telling you don't go and interact with that person now, it tells you that because you're gonna talk to that person is gonna be like maybe having a conflict with you, or maybe it's a bad day for her and she's gonna be lashing out at you, or sharing with you something that is gonna trigger you. And at the end of the day, you didn't listen to your intuition, you were warned, and it impacts you emotionally and you are drained. And then by having cancer, it doesn't help because you need all the strengths and prana and energetic layers for you to be feeling better and to improve your health.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I mean, as you mentioned, listening to your intuition is so important. Like, it's such a valuable skill to learn and to kind of navigate life with. Like, are there anything that we can do to start to develop that?
Well, listening to synchronicities, that's very important to be doing that. Because sometimes when I mean the synchronicities means that coincidences that happen in our life. Like if you are in the subway and then two people are talking to each other and saying, oh yeah, I need to take care of myself, I need to do like a care, body care or massage or whatever, sometimes it is a message for you. So being at the right places at the right timing is very key for you to have your information and to have the path to wherever I need to go. Like, for instance, sometimes your intuition is going to tell you, don't do the surgery now. But you don't listen because you don't want to offend the doctor that did take care of that thing for you. But your intuition, what it's doing by telling you, oh no, don't do that surgery of cancer at that timing or at that day or that place, because sometimes you have a karma with that doctor from a past life, and that it prevents you from, having like more complications. And by not listening, you are like making things more difficult for you to be having back, your health, because there are some things from the invisible world that we don't master and that are existing, are contributing to our health, like having the karma with the doctor or the nurses or wherever. And then the person can be making like some mistakes during the surgery. And that if we had gone to another doctor, if we had followed our intuition, it would have gone much better. Another pretty interesting thing is that if, for instance, one of our ancestors died at that day of the surgery, it is an unconscious loyalty to be doing the surgery at that time because it pushes us towards having the same fate as that person, and it can create complications or even death because it creates some vulnerability of transgenerational repetition there. So when you are pushed towards knowing the day of death or accidents of your ancestors, don't do any surgery at that time because it is let's just say a transgenerational breach and vulnerability that can create unconscious, even if the doctor doesn't want to be doing some creating complications, things are going to happen on the other circumstances that are going to go towards that vulnerability because it is an unconscious repetition there. So following the intuition is very key because it's something that it's a process that needs to be learned and worked on. You have many videos online that the people can listen to, or books that sometimes a book is gonna come out of the shelf and it's gonna fall when you're gonna be passing by. you're at a friend's house, and then suddenly a book, falls. It's a message for you. You have to open that book, or you have to understand what is the relationship between that book falling and you. That's a part of your intuition. Your guides are giving you some clues to follow, maybe to tell you, go to that doctor. But for you to be going to that doctor, you need to be following some steps that your unconscious mind is giving you, like with the movies with Santa Claus, that type of events that are happening for you are there for you to be supporting your health and following your intuition by not eating a certain food or not being around some people that are negative. Feeling how your body feels. That's very key. Like, if I don't feel like going towards talking to a person because my body doesn't accept that right now, I don't do it. But most of the time, for convenience stuff, I'm gonna force my body to be doing it. And that's something that the person needs to be learning along the way.
Yeah. So it sounds like learning to listen to patterns is really important.
We all are patterns, unconscious patterns that we are repeating again and again and again. And cancer is a pattern too. It is an emotional, physical, and mental pattern that is there to support us. Cancer people at the end of the cancer are stronger with accepting the pain. Perseverance is a key skill that is developed along the cancer period. Faith is a key lesson that is learned along the process. And if I am repeating a pattern that is causing that cancer, it's that pattern that needs to be worked on. It can be emotional, it can be mental, or it can be physical. And I need to be putting I need to be knowing what caused my cancer. What were the events that happened just before, like a year before? What happened? What were the outer circumstances? Did I experience those same situations before? How many times did it repeat? Did it cause to me, like at the beginning, like some small disease? Like I had begun with the flu? Whatever this type of situations happened to me just after that, I was sick with the flu. I didn't go to work. And then the same situation happened again a few years after. And then it created all the time like stomach area, uncomfort. And then now I am having the same situation happened again because I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to say stop to it, or I didn't know how to say no. And then at the end of the day, I developed cancer because it is exactly in the same spot that I was having this discomfort for so many years, and I didn't want to see it or work on it. So understanding the pattern is very key, and understanding the emotions that are repeating again and again and again, like hopelessness, helplessness, feeling lonely. These are emotions that the person experienced when she was little. It doesn't come from cancer, it comes from way before. So, working on the patterns that I have experienced all my life are key to healing, because I have a book, I don't remember the name of the lady that had created that book, but basically she was connecting to it's called The Journey. The book is called The Journey. I need to remember the name of the author. And she has worked on doing a meditation where she was connecting to some parts of her body that were not the parts where she was having cancer. There were other parts, like another organ. And she was connecting to some emotional wounds that she hadn't healed, people that she hadn't forgiven. And she worked like this for many months. And she began healing her cancer, and she was cancer-free few months after. because she faced whatever emotional blocks that were in her energetic body that were creating this physical energy that was staying in the organs. When it got cleared, the body didn't need anymore to be showing her whatever was healed.
Very interesting. Yeah. All these things are like they're messages, right? Basically, like letting you know like something is off in a sense, and we need to heal. So, real important. Like, how do you recommend we heal ourselves in a sense, energetically? Like, uh, are there any general things that would work for people?
Well, it is very important to notice our own emotions and how it impacts us. For instance, I am a teacher in an app that is called Insight Timer, and I do lives there. These lives are for free, for all people, that can be blocked by pain stuff. These are lives that are free. And what we do in general is that I do energy healings of stress. And I ask people I do energy healings in different parts of the body. And the person, when she's going to be feeling some relief, is the place where she is having her stress. And sometimes this stress is in the abdominal area. Sometimes it is in the heart area, like with lots of emotional ones that are coming from, the past. And sometimes it is just mental thoughts. So we all have the habit of taking a shower, doing a bath once a day, few times a week. We have a self-care regarding our physical body, but no one shares that we can do that with our energetic body, and that it is a routine that needs to be implemented like weekly and sometimes daily. And this is where the disease gets to be installed. Because if I get to do an energy healing from time to time, then this disease that is coming to my energy is going to be entering into the physical world. It is going to be entering into my mental body by thoughts, by emotions, and coming and entering and entering and entering. Like the same event is happening again and again and again and again, and I'm reacting to it the same way by impacting me in my physical body. Like just after a conflict, I'm having suddenly like a diarrhea, a constipation, an abdominal ache because I'm having some tests to do. These are physical reactions because of the repetition of the event again and again and again. And the same reaction is impacting the physical body now. So, what we can do is that by having an energy healing, we get to be clear in that. And I would say that energy healing, just to save the symptoms and to clear them, is just a way, a superficial way. The more profound way is the repetitive patterns there. When I am all the time reacting the same way to the same event, or the same situation is happening to me, and I am guilting A, B, C, D for creating to me the emotional wound and to making me sad, to making me angry. But the point in common is not A, B, C, D, is it's me. It's not the person. It's me. I am experiencing that again and again and again because I need to heal from something that happened to me when I was little, that I judged, that I didn't forgive, that I didn't forget, and I didn't heal. Whenever I heal it, then the emotional situation is not going to be triggering me. I won't be having negative emotions. I won't be having negative thoughts. It's going to be neutral. It's not going to be impacting me. So I would be saying that it's okay to begin knowing that we are energy beings that are impacted by emotions and thoughts, and that it's fine to be working with energy healers to be clearing the energy, negative energy from us. It's okay. But when the same event or the same emotion is popping up again and again and again, doing that is fine, but working on the root cause is the key.
Yeah. I would imagine, like, in terms of self care and energetic care, I feel like there's probably some overlap in there. Like, I don't know, like exercise, for example, probably impacts your energy in some way. Like, do you find like a lot of practices are similar in a sense?
Well, I would say that positivity is the key here. Um, having the positive thoughts. Like I don't know where I saw it. Like we're having like 60,000 negative thoughts in the each day that we we need to
Yeah.
process, and we are impacted by astrological stuff. And I'm gonna share about astrological things. Sometimes there are some we have come to experience lessons, and those lessons are written in the astrology. And these lessons sometimes get to be triggered by some astrological positions, like when there is Mercury, which is the communication planet, is in a certain place, depending on in relationship with the day of your birth, the moment of your birth, then it is impacting you by creating unconsciously lots of conflicts there. So it is there to be challenging you and to be showing you, some parts of yourself that you didn't heal or that you are not seeing. And it's your reaction that is going to be the key here. So I would say that self observation, not taken as seriously, is one key of monks that we can be inspired from them. By if I am having a situation that is happening to me, I can choose just as a joke, just as a way of believing myself to be in a movie like a character, to be having the situation coming through me and not to me. Observing it like if I am from a distance and seeing it and saying, oh, okay, I'm reacting that way. Oh, amazing. Yeah, okay. Let me just observe how the different thoughts are coming to me. And there is an amazing book of Michael Singer. He's an author who wrote two books that are amazing. I recommend them. There is one on, he was having lots of challenges. Like there were wanting people who wanted to be putting him in prison and stuff. And he allowed himself to be taking that experience as an experiment. And it was a best, at the end of the day, this book was a best-selling book in the New York Times. That's how impactful this insight of observing how the inner thoughts are there and taking them as an observation, as learning, and not just like as something that is going to be hurting me emotionally. And when you get to that level, it's very key to be doing meditation because you're going to notice how the emotions are coming, how the thoughts are coming, how they are like this thought is going to be coming after that one and after that one. And you're not going to be taking your life seriously. So, this energy, I would say that the first thing about energy would be to be working on that first, because you allow yourself to know about the unconscious mind that is making you react in a certain way.
Definitely. That makes sense. I mean, I feel like being able to, have this high quality energy and heal ourselves in a sense, we're probably more likely to attract what we want in life, like attract abundance in a more effortless and graceful way. Do you find that how that correlates in a sense?
It correlates totally. Like we are all energy beings, and our energy beings are, we are loyal towards our ancestors, towards whatever we haven't healed and they haven't healed. Like we are taking some of their burdens on whatever they haven't healed. And when we get to connect to our future self, which has already achieved abundance. And I tell people now that are listening to us to connect to their future self, like put them in front of them. And you can try it, Anthony. Have your future self and feel how it can give you some resources that are gonna be attracting your abundance. And regarding all the blocks that you all have, or and you, Anthony, have, feel this future self achieving already the abundance that you want. Feel it experiencing that and bring the sensation in the present time and tell me how it goes.
I love that. I mean, just being able to act as if you're the person already, right? Because like once you do that, you start to become in alignment with that thing, right? As opposed to, you want these things in your life, and as opposed to like, this is just so difficult and I can't have it and all that. Is like you start to just get in the game in a sense. You start to build that momentum, get in alignment, right? And you start taking the necessary actions, necessary thoughts and questions that bring you more into fruition in a sense with it.
Exactly. It is very important to know that, and lots of people that are part of, the law of attraction thing, the millionaires, the rich people, they are connected to the retrocausality. This is, the name of the science, which means that, you connect to your future self. And it is featured in one of, I think that it was Harry Potter, a movie where Hermione is connected to her future self, and it's the future self that is giving advice to the present so that, she knows how to manage things. And what I would like to share regarding that is that we are all connected to our ancestors. We are having lots of loyalty towards them. So sometimes we are stuck. We don't get in the future self because we are blocked by whatever unconscious loyalty that we are having towards their own destiny, the different issues that they had. And when we get to be connected to the future self, we get to be having the resources that we need. We get to be having projected the different dreams and realities that we want to be achieved. And there are lots of laws in the universe, and it's important to be knowing those laws in order to achieve what we want. And one of the laws is the law of focus. If I focus on something, I get to be creating it in the 5D. We are living in a 3D dimension that is dense, and we can be connected to the 5D. And lots of people, for instance, that have cancer, they work with this, the retrocausality, in order to create the health in the present by being inspired in the future self. So when we get to connect to the future self, this future self, you are creating some law of focus that is going to be creating in the 5D the circumstances in the etheric world. And then it's going to be condensated and condensed. And then after that, they are going to be manifesting in the 3D. What happens, and maybe you can recognize yourself, and we all recognize themselves like me. When good things are beginning to come, sometimes we auto-sabotage ourselves. And this is where the connection with the ancestors is making sense. If I am having an ancestor that, when he became rich, like he got killed, or like colonialists came and took their resources and let them in the poverty or put them in war, then abundance is not a positive thing for my clan. So my clan won't be allowing me to be going towards that. So I'm gonna have like a resistance, an unconscious resistance with my body when will be about to be rich. So what can be happening is that you can connect to your future self so that you can clear all the different blocks that are impeding this abundance to come. And as you can be healing yourself and sending that positive energy from the future self can act on your ancestors too by providing them the security or the assurance that things are going to be okay now that circumstances have changed. And that way, the resistance that when things are beginning to be positive for you, like things are moving, like clients are coming, and like the job of your life is arriving, then the blocks, external blocks or internal blocks, won't be coming your way. And that's why the conversation that we were having before on intuition is making sense. Because if my intuition is showing me, oh yeah, go that way, from that way, oh, there's this person is coming, this calling, and you go and meet that person, then things are gonna be put in place so that you're gonna be at the right place with the right people, with the right circumstances, so that puzzles are gonna be making their place. And that's why it's important to be working on the unconscious. Like for instance, I do work with the theta healing, and theta healing means that it's a technique where you move your body and then you work with the limiting beliefs and you get to clear them. Like, does this limiting belief, like, do I believe that abundant money is dirty? Like my ancestors were like had money from maybe like some illicit things like sexuality. They gain their properties or their money from what they consider being dirty, exploiting people or whatever. So is money dirty and my body is going to be moving? Yes. And then if I get to ask, is it something that belongs to me? Like, did I experience it in this life with my parents or whatever? It's going to be saying yes or no. And your body is going to be asking, does it come from my ancestors or does it come from past lives? And you get to clear it that way. Because we are all programmed beings, and I'm coming back again to the programming stuff, but we need to let go of whatever doesn't serve anymore our abundance, which are the limiting beliefs of our ancestors, the vows that we have from past lives. Because sometimes, if in a past life we were a slave, how can we be like now abundant? If, for instance, the first person in the family, like the firstborn in my family, always dies, then I don't want to be the first one, to be successful in life, because like the first person dies in my family. So I need to clear that from my own system. And that's what the rich people, like I see lots of videos of them talking about, how they processed and what they did. I don't remember the name of the guy that was showing that, but he said, yeah, they work on the unconscious belief in order to get rid of the unconscious events that happened. If I'm having an unconscious void of poverty because I was a monk or priest in a past life or a nun, then I get to be releasing that. If I was a slave, if I am having like unconscious allegiance towards my, towards like some people, I need to be clearing them. Like I had a client the other day that he had, like he was wanting to be the first in his country to be the first trainer in a certain topic, and he was blocked because he was impacted by unconscious voice of being a slave, having been a slave in a past life, and having been like having to be having an allegiance towards your boss when you are like full-time employee. Like if I'm having an allegiance, obedience vow towards my boss, how can I get out of that work because I need to stay all the time with that boss in that company. So I need to let go of those unconscious allegiance vows so that I can be an independent, and I need to be clearing all the things that are impacting unconsciously my path. And like this, step to step, I get to be working towards having abundance. Like if in my family, like women have been all the time dependent on men for money, like they couldn't allow themselves to be working. They weren't allowed by the clan to be working. They weren't allowed by men to be the working. How they can be independent now? Because they come from a lineage where no woman was the first one to be abundant and to be rich. Whenever abundance was coming their way, yeah, money was coming, of course, but then the taxes were coming, like the diseases of kids were coming, so they needed to be paying all that money that they had built in bills of the doctors, because unconsciously, whenever I am having like a sum of money that I am like beginning to be reaching, then this money needs to be getting out. Like people are like theft, people are stealing the money of us, like family are asking for money. And we end up, yes, we have done lots of work, but we are staying not abundant because we are still impacted by unconscious things that are coming into layers that we don't even suspect that are impacting us in our daily life and the future generations.
Yeah. So it sounds like removing energetic blocks are the key, and being able to manifest a lot faster. It sounds like so. Yeah. Awesome. All right. This has been awesome. Jihane, I really appreciate you today for coming on the show and sharing your story and everything that you've learned about energy and healing, all these things, right? Because, as you said in the beginning, it's not really talked about a lot. Just being able to learn about these concepts and these tools and see what works and just kind of apply these things as we go and being able to heal ourselves from trauma and these limiting thought patterns is just being able to kind of integrate, right? Being able to remove blocks and be of service, right? To actually be a light and model for what's possible and ultimately live the life that we're meant to. So thank you.
Thank you, Anthony, really for spreading this, knowledge, so that people would be, like having that information and acting on it. So that's very key.
Yeah. If you would like to get connected with you and your work, where can we go for that?
Well, to connect with my work, you can go to Inside Timer, and I am a teacher there. It's an app. And you can go to luminara.com. I am a healer. So you can book a session there with me, and you can go to my website, jihanelaraichi.com. And you go to the English section because I am a healer in 5 languages. So if you go to the English section, then you can see all the work that I do and book a session with me.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I would like just to share a last thing is that I am creating a group of healing regarding cancer for cancer that are for people that have cancer or survivors of cancer, where I am giving like free information in a WhatsApp group and creating a membership for people who want to heal. So feel free to reach out to me for this.
Sounds great. All right. Appreciate it.